Beneath the trees of the rainforest is Mboka village in Nguti subdivision of the Kupe Maningoba division of the southwest region of Cameroon. In this village has sprouted the seed of peace laid some 18 years ago when the project to build a house of worship was first conceived by Johnson Okie Ndo.
My source is inspiration is from God.
The senior state functionary, who is also a fervent servant of God and current national president of the Catholic Men Association, first wanted to erect a small church for his village community. The piece of land he had earlier purchased for private use was then dedicated and offered for the service of God. As time went on, the blessings of God were bound and the project expanded to a spiritual center. The love of God and the desire to build his church led to the construction of the Mboka Pilgrimage Center, which was later elevated to the shrine of Our Lady of Fatima.
It just came from God. And one of the things you want to identify us human beings is what is the mission that God has assigned you to. I'm sure that has been part of the mission that God assigned me to. Probably I've just been lucky to be able to identify that mission, but the most difficult part is once you identify the mission, how do you to have executed that mission, to have sacrificed to meet up with the mission that the Lord has assigned me to. That's why I tell you, it's very inspirational, it's from God.
Mboka, the city of God, is the new name given to the locality, which is today seen as a seat of peace.
You know, when Jesus from his resurrection said, "Peace and peace I give to you," and that peace, you go to Jesus, go to the house, his house, and in his house you put down your knees. And that is why that center today came up at the heart. When that center was blessed, there were more than 2,500 persons in Mboka, the heart of the crisis. No gunshot, no killing, no disturbance. There was peace and people jubilated, celebrated till Sunday the next day.
The more than 500 seats capacity church was inaugurated by the then Bishop of Mamfi, today Archbishop of Bamenda, Andrew Nkia, on Sunday 5th May 2019.
With brothers and sisters, especially members of the CMA, when they come out to Yaoundé in big numbers, they come out for Douala in big numbers, they come out for Boya in big numbers, Kumba, all other places for come enter. Una welcome to Mboka.
The continuous prayers from the Our Lady of Fatima Shrine in Mboka is believed to have produced miraculous healing to the entire region and beyond.
And that's why I'm calling all Cameroonians for us to move towards that hidden hand, which is the Lord. He is the Almighty, the peacemaker, the peace provider. So from there, it spreads. It goes to all the other angles of the northwest and southwest, and it will continue to the entire Republic of Cameroon. You relate it. This is why I'm in Yaoundé today. This is why this ceremony, it is God's plan for people to understand that the peace that was in Mboka, that house in the southwest, stretching to Bamenda, the northwest, is coming to Yaoundé. And Yaoundé is what? The capital, the heart of. So it means that peace, it is that time God has concretized that peace. And that's what, to me, that's the significance of having this ceremony here in Yaoundé. It happened like that, it wasn't planned. But if it happened this way, it's to tell Cameroonians that when you go to the Lord, Mboka, the cradle of Fatima, is spreading and it has come to Yaoundé. The cradle, the heart of the nation. It means there is peace in Cameroon now.
One of the fruits of the Spirit of God in the region is a return to calm, especially in Mamfi, which was one of the boiling points of the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of the country.
I would like to refer you to the Bible in the Psalms 32. It tells you that man and materials and everything has a limit. You can use all the forces. You can use the horses, the guns, the spears, and everything to kill. But you realize that the peace will not come. And when you get to that level that you've overstretched to use all those things, you realize there is that limit of man. And that is when the Lord comes in. When the Lord comes in, that hidden hand of the Lord, that is where the real peace comes. And that is why we call it the Catholic men. You see that, tell people that no matter all the guns, the military and all that, if we do not go to put our knees and raise our hands with the tears on our eyes to tell that our Lord come, we will not have that peace.
Johnson Okiendo, who is the brain behind the construction of the Our Lady of Fatima Shrine, is also the national president of the Catholic Men's Association.
Our brother Okie Johnson, was elected national president of the Catholic Men Association Cameroon on the 9th of February 2018 in Bamenda, in a general assembly that was organized by the bishops of the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda.
As leader of the Catholic Men's Association, he has always encouraged the men to walk with love, bearing in mind that God has a plan for each and every one.
The bottom line for every CMA man is that the CMA man must practice family values. You must assume your role as St. Joseph did, silently but efficiently. So it's not like showing off. So our spirituality is that of working for the church, working for our families, and also working for the growth of the church.
The national president of the CMF, for about 2 years in office, has been able to move the association from 2,000 to 5,000 members.
The first thing I tell our members that first it is love, the love that the Lord preaches. And this love, when you come in this love, little actions. Love without deeds and actions doesn't move. When the love is there, you bind it, you blend it with some little actions. And those are the actions which we today, as members of the Catholic Men Association, have to carry out, so that when you do those little things, when somebody sees you, he should be able to identify that this man belongs to a special group that links to the Lord. So the first thing is the love we should have for ourselves, as the commandment says, love your neighbor as yourself. But this love, and in our faith, we should always be able to attach it, blend it with some actions, some little things that you could sacrifice, so that people will be able to see. You know, action speaks louder than words. CMA members, we have our patron, Saint Joseph. In the Bible, Saint Joseph was one of those. You never heard him talk, but you saw his deeds, and that is why today he is one of the greatest saints, like the protector of our Catholic Church. And so we have to relate. The love we have, the faith we have, we blend it with little actions and sacrifices that goes.
He has also been able to harmonize all spiritual documents of the Catholic Church. He has equally initiated the construction of a CMF National Secretariat in Buea.
Brought in a new deal into the CMA. One of the things that I admire is he insists a lot on the spirituality of CMA, and he insists that we are a spiritual group. And one of his main points he insists on is family spirituality. because the CMA Cameroon spirituality is founded on the spirituality of the Holy Family of Nazareth. Precisely, we take the role of Joseph. So he has actually given a new orientation, and I think I can say under his reign we have a new deal CMA.
The handwork of God in his life is manifested in his office at the Hydrocarbons Price Stabilization Fund, where his director since 12 December 2017 when he was appointed by presidential decree. Putting God first is his watchword, and this burning desire to serve in God's vineyard has been rewarded with a Pontifical Medal.
The Pontifical Medal is a recognition for the laity, as we have, showing that the laity can also be involved in the building of the church. So the church is not built only by clerics. The church is built both by the clerics and the laity. And when I say building, it is not just a physical structure. You need the spiritual building, you need witnessing, you need prophetic life. It's a whole lifestyle. So it's a constellation of many things that come into it. Like in our own case, I think it is thanking God for his engagement as a layman. His faith transpires, and it's an exemplary faith that as a civil servant, as a family man, as a social person, you can still be engaged in the church as a laity.
So tell us, who are those who can qualify or be eligible to get such a recognition?
Such recognition, first of all, you must be a baptized Christian in the Catholic Church, because the Pope will certainly recognize people within the Catholic faith. I think I do not have any memory of any non-Catholic that has been awarded that. So the bottom line is you must be a baptized and a practicing Catholic.
With God, you just know that he is there. You give yourself to him. You commit yourself totally and be able to sacrifice. That no matter what hurdles you do, the sacrifices you do, the Lord is there. He is watching. He watches and he comes when you least expect. Just all what I've been doing, all the sacrifices, I wasn't doing for anything, but I was equally surprised when I heard that I have been given this award by the Pope himself. So just to encourage a young man to go ahead, to have that total commitment and the belief that the Almighty is there and that nobody is equal to the Almighty and nobody can be equal to the Almighty. The total involvement and total their faith, give everything to the Lord and be able to sacrifice for the Lord. He sees everything and he knows when to say, yes, my son, as he has said to me.
Being one of the first Cameroonians to receive such a distinction, Johnson Okiendo believes every reward comes from God.